Hello, 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 Mrs. Ellen Hambrick. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How about you?
I am happy. I cannot complain. You are all joining us today on this episode, which is the amazing Ellen Hambrick, from scientist to millionaire, DSP logistic professional, and hesitant movie executive producer. So we got to unpack that thing. I'm inclined to start with the movies because of, my image in television. I love that most. But I think we'll work our way backwards to that because I think you've told me how you got there is kind of an interesting winding road. So first of all, tell us where you hail from. Now, I'm from the great state of Mississippi, and where are you from?
I'm also from Mississippi.
What part of Mississippi?
I'm from Vicksburg, Mississippi,
And you live now.
and Dallas, Texas. Well, I actually live in Cedar Hill, which is right outside of Dallas.
Okay, I'm in the colony now, wherever that is. It's in the geographical region. They've got a store over here. It's the Nebraska Furniture Store. My
Yes,
God,
it's huge.
you
You
have
can
got
get
to see
everything
this.
in there.
Oh my goodness. I think Nebraska can sit in that store.
Definitely.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started in your professional career because you were a mathematician, statistician, a Microsoft certified engineer, a technical writer, and instructional design.
Correct.
Big brain. And
That's what they say.
so tell me how you end up. You were at one point teaching, were you? Or
No,
not
not. I thought
necessarily?
about teaching, but I quickly changed that to become an engineer. Those kids, I don't think I could have dealt with them. They want to fight the teachers. They're just disrespectful. So I had to quickly detour from doing that.
Well, the reason that I'm joining you today because I talk with amazing people. And one of the things that I want to be clear about as we get into this conversation is that this is about being good humans. And it's about really redefining or properly defining what success is. We say that you're a millionaire and it's catchy, it gets your attention. However, this is not about you being a millionaire. This is about you being a good human. Because young people in particular, I do not want them to believe that just because people have money, that it somehow makes them different than they otherwise would be. Because there are a lot of things that you can do to make money. And so the purpose of this is to encourage other people that, quite frankly, just a change of your position and being open-minded can take you actually into a life of abundance. And in the same way that the earth is here for us and there's enough oxygen and water and sunlight for everybody, we don't have to cut people's throat and cut people out and do bad business deals just to have money. And so
Correct.
you are the quintessential poster child for that. And the way that you came to be a millionaire is even better because it was your children or one of your children who took you into this. And you were being a good mother, taking care of her children and looking out for them and supporting their dreams that actually changed your entire life. So, first of all, tell us a little bit about your family and about how many children you have.
Yes. I have three kids. Um, my oldest daughter is 30, my son is 24, and my youngest daughter is 23. And they are my world. It's as if I kind of live for them, through them. Just want to make sure that I'm being a good steward and trying to leave something for them, creating generational wealth for my kids. So this journey that I'm on now kind of started with my son, actually.
And so I want to show on the screen now, specifically what, when we talk about this journey, specifically what it is who transferred her from just a regular mom. Many moms care greatly for their kids. Many moms fight for their children and they will lay down their lives for their children as mothers often do. But what is the difference in this particular instance where you followed your child into a gold mine? So start first with what you were doing at the time that your son brought this opportunity to you. And it is on the screen. After you finish telling me that, then we'll get into what it actually is.
Okay. So prior to this, I was an instructional designer for multiple companies. I was a consultant. So I would just go into a company. I'll use Southwest Airlines as an example and create the training material for them. So prior to my what I'm doing now, things were going really, really well for me. But one of my kids decided that college wasn't for him and he needed to find his way. So I thought about being able to help and encourage my kids because that's what I want to do. Anytime they have a dream and come to me, then I fund that dream for them or help guide them to the proper way. So school just wasn't for him. So I said, okay, son, I'm going to find you a business where you can kind of run because he said he wanted to be an entrepreneur. And then I ran into this program, the delivery service partner, did a little research, ran into another guy who owned this company prior to me, and then I decided to apply. The initial investment was $30,000. You had to go through a couple of interviews, get an understanding. I've never done this before, ran a company of this magnitude. Once I got approved, I actually was going to just hand it over to my kids for them to run it because actually my own career, I was doing really well and had enough money to sustain me. So I thought I didn't have that entrepreneur mindset like my son did. So I ran into this program and they started to run it for me, but it took off. So now I have 3 stations, and it's very profitable, with just such a small startup cost.
And so let us go back and clearly explain to them what this is. Amazon is one of the most profitable companies in the world. It sells almost everything. And unlike many other big companies, those companies typically does not allow everyday common citizens the opportunity to participate in their profit sharing, not just by investing in stock, but actually growing your business in support of them. So this is called Amazon DSP program. It's the Delivery Service Partner Program, and it's designed to empower leaders who want to launch and operate their own delivery business. And going to support your children, as many mothers do, turned into something that has changed the lives and trajectory of your entire family, correct?
That is correct.
And so from the time so you were not skeptical at all. Once you knew that your child, as a mother would say, you know what, I'm concerned about my child. I got to make sure that he's has a firm landing if he's not going to take the traditional route. So once you explored this thing, what made you say, you know what? Why not? Let's just do it. Because, people are skeptical. Their first instinct is, oh, it sounds too good to be true. I don't know anybody who's ever done it before. What was the thing that made you say, I've tried everything else. Why not try this?
What actually made me want to move forward with this, once I got into it and got approved with the program, I started out with 5 vans just at
Okay.
one station, and it continued to grow all the way up until 85 vans. And then from there, it took off where I got a second station, and then I eventually got a third station. I have 34 cars over at that second station, and then 10 other vans at the additional station. So it just it took off on its own. It like took legs and kind of ran. So fast forward to that, I retired from what I was doing because this business has taken off. I've been doing it since 2021, and the money that I'm making from this business actually afforded me to be able to go into the movie industry, which I know we're going to talk a little bit about that later.
Yes. Well, so from the time you got started, what was the timeline? How many years from the time you said, you know what, I'm gonna put the 30,000 up for it. I'm gonna start this. How many years was it before it just started to just run away and you were like, wait a minute, I think that this is not a hobby. I think that this is a big deal.
About 15 months into it, and actually about 2 years into it is when I actually was able to replace my income and retire.
So what would you say to another mother, a single mother or a father or anybody who has a dream, but is a little bit afraid, as humans can be, skeptics,
You,
about
you
this
froze
type
up a
of
little bit.
opportunity? Oh, what would you say to anybody else who was considering something like this, are not content with where they are in life? What would you say to them if they're on the fence?
I would encourage anyone who has that entrepreneur mindset, anyone who wants to take their life to the next level, step out on faith and definitely follow your dreams. This opportunity, anyone can do it. I tell everyone that I'm from Vicksburg, Mississippi, small country little girl, that if I can make it and if I can do this, anyone can do it. Um, this initial $30,000 investment that'll turn you into becoming a millionaire. It's it's like a no-brainer. It's as if logistics.amazon.com. I encourage everyone to at least look into it and see if they're able to, because this is definitely a game changer for your life. And it all started with just me wanting to help my son.
Wow. So tell me this. People think that money is the end all be all. Money is a tool. It does not make you different than who you are. But what is one of the luxuries, and it doesn't have to be big, one of the things that you have really enjoyed that you did not think that you would enjoy as much as you do with pretty much freedom? Because like for me, I think that the creator gives us 24 hours. I don't have a 1 hour lunch break. I get a 10 hour lunch break. Sometimes I get a four. It just all depends. So is there one little thing that you enjoy now that really, really you may have never thought that you'd get a chance to do because you made good money. You were already doing well. So is there a thing that this has allowed you to do other than the movie thing that you have really, really been excited about?
Just being more supportive for my kids still on a different level and other people, being able to help other people out. Just give an example. I have an employee. I have over like 315 employees. I
Whoa,
have,
whoa, whoa. You have what?
yeah, I have over like
So,
315
so a
employees.
little girl from Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Yes,
Within 3 years,
within 3 years.
you have what? 300 and
I do.
wow.
And it's steady growing because I have three stations that I have to hire for. And
Mm,
they want you, the number of routes that they give to you, you have to have double the amount of people in order to operate because it's a 7 day operation.
mm.
Um, but yeah, it definitely, so freedom. I heard you mention the word freedom. I can do and go wherever I want to go, not having to worry about waking up in the morning, going to go work for someone else, being able to be a good steward. Because my dad is still in Mississippi. He is 86. Being
Mm.
able to support him, help him out whenever it's needed. I have siblings, being able to help them out, or people in general, just volunteering. I'm a Delta, a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So we definitely do a lot of charity work that I probably would not be able to participate in if I was working like a full-time 9 to 5 job.
Now, you were talking about a little bit, and I cut you off inadvertently, a particular employee that you, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So she fell on hard times. I guess she was living with her boyfriend. He put her out. So I've been helping her. It's just something that I like to do, like to give back. Because I don't think that I'm bigger than anyone else. Just like God gave it to me today, He can easily take it away from me tomorrow. So me being able to help people is something that I'm really, really big on. So I helped her. I gave her more hours so she can have more money, and also put her up in a hotel room for a month. Until she can get to where she needs to be and get out of that abusive relationship that she's in.
Wow, that is amazing. So tell me this, because anything worth having is work. I also want to be clear about people that there is no magic, that this is work.
Yes.
What is one of the most difficult things that you have found in this endeavor?
Ooh, dealing with people, these kids. I say
Yeah.
kids. Some of they just don't want to work. They'll give you every excuse under the sun. So my journey in this was to help my family out, but I also found comfort into helping others out as well. But it's like the more you try to help some people,
Mm.
you just can't. But that's very difficult when you lay it all out on the line You help people. I'm very open and honest with everyone. And then people don't want to come to work. People don't show up and they come up with some of the excuses that you can't even hardly imagine. So that's kind of frustrating, knowing that you want to help someone, but people don't want to help themselves.
And you also have to use discernment to make sure because you don't have unlimited amount of resources. So you're a millionaire, but you got people out here who are billionaires. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to measure what you do because you don't have an unlimited uh resource pool. So you can do too much of that and it would still be bad for you.
Exactly.
So have you found that, and this isn't necessarily just about your family member, because there are dynamics in our families, in all of our families that are interesting at times.
Mhm.
Have you found other either family members or girlfriends who have followed your lead and said, you know what, I think I want to do that too? Or have you found that people are still reticent even though they know that you have done it?
A little bit of both. When I first actually found out about the opportunity, being afraid to step out on faith, being afraid to just do something on your own. I have a little crew that I hang out with. It's a total of five of us. And I went to them and said, "Hey, I have this idea, guys,
From the
XYZ,"
beginning.
from the very beginning.
Okay.
A year passed and no one wanted to act on it. They kept saying, "No, I don't think it's for me. I don't want to do it." So I said, "You know what?" Then that's when it came about because we're always talking about trying to do a business together. Um,
So you didn't want to do it yourself in the beginning. You
so in the
wanted to
beginning,
do it with your friends.
I did, and then they didn't see
Mhm.
the vision. So then that's when my son started to have the problem. So I'm like, okay, I have to do this for him.
Mm,
So that forced me to go ahead and do it on my own.
mm.
So that's twofold. So yes, and now fast forward, one of them did apply, but she hasn't heard anything back
Okay.
yet. Another friend that's from Mississippi, actually, her and her husband applied. They live in Ohio. And when they
Okay.
got accepted, my daughter and I flew to Ohio to help them launch their business.
Wow. And so tell me, what is the name of your son? The one that is the catalyst for this. It's
Larry,
just his first name. Larry. So you owe a lot to Larry.
I do.
So where is Larry now in terms of his headspace at first was, I don't think college is for me. I'm gonna go it on my own, regardless as to because we sound like Larry was gonna do the entrepreneurial thing regardless of what. So how does he feel now that he has really not saved his family because his family wasn't in distress, but men are providers, are designed to be providers for their family. So how would you imagine that he presents himself now, knowing that my instincts were right, that this entrepreneurship is the way to go.
Well, definitely when we started in September. And of course, he was living in his own place and he went to work every day. Because when you first start out a business, you have to have your family to run the business until you're able to hire other people. He went to work every day. And then even on Thanksgiving Day, he calls me and he says, "Mom, nobody is here." I mean, here where? He said, "I'm at work." I said, "Son, it's Thanksgiving Day, go home." So he has definitely found his way and found his niche. He runs the company along with my other daughter.
Wow. So he's matured into the man that now he has the confidence. And this is important because there are a lot of when you look at the crime rates across the country, in particular, Vicksburg is,
Mhm.
it's not good. Jackson, Birmingham, it's a lot of black on black crime that are driven by African American males.
Right.
And this has been an opportunity. Anything can still happen to anyone, but you are less likely to stay up all night long worrying about your son because he has something positive to do. He's
Exactly.
excited about it. It's changing his life. And so this is more than just about business. This is about a purpose in life and finding it.
Mhm.
And that is not just money that gives you your purpose in life, but having something that you're excited about is. So as a mom, I know you feel really good that you know that your son is at the wheel and he's doing his work.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes,
So
definitely.
thank you for that. And lastly, what would you say if you had an opportunity, if you were talking directly to Jeff Bezos? Because for all of the things that people say about things that they don't know everything about and they can't possibly know, there was a time when I was a cynic about the government. Oh, the government don't do anything right. And then somebody told me one day, well, let me see how you would run postal service, police,
Mhm.
EMT for 350 million people. What would you do? And I was like, you know what? You make a very good point. I don't want any part of that.
No.
So, what would you say to a Jeff Bezos, who actually has structured a company that gives average people the opportunity to change their lives, and follow their dream?
Well, definitely thanks for being able to have the foresight to not just for yourself, but to be able to make dreams come true for other family members. Um, it's a game changer for someone like me, a little small town girl who, in my wildest dreams, would have never thought that I could have the word millionaire tied to my name. Um, Based on where I came from Mississippi, no one ever gave me the insight or the dream that I could do what I'm doing right now, that I could run a business of this magnitude with literally no experience and have over 300 employees, and make a difference in other lives. So I just really thank him for that, or anyone who would have the insight to be able to do that and pass it along to others as well.
So, is your mother still with us? I know you spoke about your father, but is she still here as well, or is your
No,
mother?
no,
She's
my
not.
mom passed. Yeah, in
Your mom
2018.
passed
Yes.
2018, so she didn't get a chance to see um
No.
this success. But your father has seen it. And tell me
Yes.
about, you have the pride as of a mother for your son and children. Tell me about the kind of pride that your father has in his daughter, who has done something that if you never believed it, he never believed it either. You know?
Yeah, you know what? So, one of my friends who lives here, and she's from my hometown as well, we would go back home, and she'll always say, when we pull up in front of your dad's house, you just should see how his face lights up when you pull up. So,
Wow.
he's very proud of me. He's been able to come here and see the warehouse and see how we run everything. Um, it's just, I love my dad. He's amazing. He's really funny as well. Even though he's 86, he gets around better than you and I. If I were to call
Oh,
him right
wow.
now, if I were to call him right now, he answers the phone and he says, "Go ahead, you on the line." And he's just hilarious. So he gets
Hmm.
around. Um, but yeah, I think my dad is really proud of me.
Wow. And it's amazing. There are not, we take for granted sometimes that not everybody, or oftentimes many people don't get the opportunity to be acknowledged by the people who mean the most to you, or to be able to live your dreams, or to not be in under duress your entire life. So this has been a real game changer. Um, and I'm glad that you shared that with me. And I want to transition now. That was fun too, but I want to talk a little bit more about Mississippi,
Okay.
um, which is going to bring us into your movie stuff. Ironically, I'm working on something that I think falls in line with exactly what you're doing. So I'm going to pause for a minute and go back to how I met you, because this goes into the entertainment realm. I met you through Ms. Eula Forte, who I worked at WAPT with, a Hearst affiliate, for years. And
Mhm.
she was one of the top salespeople in the entire country for that company. And when she told me about you, in such a way, she never met you. It was one of her relatives who knew you, but she edified you so high. And I'm like, you never met her? She said, no, no, my niece or somebody knows. And I'm like, I got to meet you, because she gave such a glowing recitation of who you are. And Eula is a brilliant person. So when Eula has a kind of dry personality. She's direct. She
Mhm.
does not overly compliment people. Eula is rough. You know,
That's what I heard.
Eula gets her money. You talking about a closer. If you got some money, Eula is leaving there with that money. You know what I'm saying? So for her to go on and on, I probably wouldn't have paid as much attention to it, but she just went on and on. I'm like, okay, Eula, you're right. Because she said this particular opportunity, if she were not retired, and Eula's made plenty of money for a long time, She said, I would be all over this opportunity. She was like, Mac, you got to meet this lady. You got to, and she just went on and on. And so I wanted to acknowledge her because I met you through her. And it's ironic that we'll go into the movie thing because I am working on something right now for the great state of Mississippi that just passed the Senate day before yesterday. So it is an entertainment workforce development task force.
Mhm.
So I am really concerned with our state, as you were concerned with your son, that the proliferation of artificial intelligence is going to wipe out a lot of blue collar jobs. And that is going to include Mississippi, because Mississippi is a blue collar state. So what do you do when you have a not so good education system? You know, you can't just say tomorrow, I think I want to work at Amazon and be an engineer. No, you have to have a infrastructure and background in that. So
Right.
when you're the birthplace of America's music, you had a lot that came out of Vicksburg. I think it was the Green Tops. Quincy Jones' mother was from Vicksburg. I come from the Mississippi Delta, so all of the blues and everything comes from there. So
Mhm.
I want to expand on workforce development as it is commonly known, training nurses and mechanics and plumbers and welders to extend that to entertainers.
Gotcha.
So ironically, you have found yourself into the entertainment realm reluctantly, and I'm going to pull up on the screen one of your babies, and it is called Twisted Hearts. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Someone had me on a Google Meet thing today, and it really just confused me because I use Zoom, so I had to
Oh.
share my screen there, so it's got me all discombobulated. So, wait a minute, it didn't come up. Hold on. See, that's what I'm talking about. Let me unshare and go back again. I took my time to stage this, and it is embarrassing me. So you have a movie called Twisted Hearts.
Yes.
Yes. And so you have found yourself to be a executive producer of a movie. Now, how did that happen? You had never had aspirations to
No,
do that.
not at all. Once again, goes back to my kids. My youngest daughter, Sydney, she wanted to be an actress. So I worked with a guy um, who I found out that had a movie company called Q and Coda. And I used to work with Charles years ago, back 1996 at ADP. So I just went to him just so he can help my daughter um, act or put her in a movie, kind of like give her a little small role. So she went and did a table read with Jason Mitchell, who plays out straight out of Compton and things. So she's trying to find her way. So in the meantime, with Charles and I talking, he decided to ask me if I wanted to invest in any of them in a movie. So I'm like, I don't know what that is, but let's talk about it because I believe in order to maintain your status, you have to have multiple things going on. You just cannot do one thing. The term that they use, you can't have all your eggs in one basket. So he started talking to me about investing in a movie. So I became the executive producer over Twisted Hearts here. And then as I continued to talk to him, then he said that he had an opportunity if I wanted to be part owner in the company itself. So we worked out some numbers. So I became part owner in Q and Coda as well, which is we are a full-fledged company that we can do everything from beginning to end. We have writers, producers, all the equipment that's needed in order to create a well-filmed movie.
Wow. So we may need to get you to come to Mississippi and shoot something
I
uh,
can do that.
with my entertainment stuff, maybe in Vicksburg. Hey, you never know. And
You
so
never,
So let me do this. I'm gonna go back and I hope this audio comes through and you can hear it. So I'm just gonna play a little bit of this because I would be remiss if I didn't give people an opportunity. They see the quality. But I'm gonna play a little bit of it and let them hear a little bit of it, and I'll pause it. And you can tell me a little bit about the premise of Twisted Hearts. Hold on, you'll play about 60 seconds of it.
okay.
And so this quality is amazing. You appear to have good actors in there and actresses. Part of what we're doing in Mississippi is so what we're doing, we're going to modify the community college system to expand workforce development. We passed something last year called Mississippi Musicians Month. And then we can do statewide talent shows like the championship sports models, championship football, state champs of basketball, baseball. Take those top 25 or 30 from the talent show, bring them down, find a 10 or 12 that's ready to go to community college, put them in community college and teach them business and law alongside um, being entertainers so that you not only find the next Elvis and Sam Cooke, which both came from Mississippi for people who don't know, but they also can have the next Graceland that is in Memphis in a place like Mississippi. So I am proud of you for what you are doing and to have stumbled into it, vicariously through your children is really, really amazing. So tell me a little bit about what that particular movie is about.
So it's about three couples who already they're going to a therapist to iron out their differences. So the therapist decided to put them all together in a house because they're all having issues to see if they can work them out, maybe like group therapy. It's a non-traditional therapy session. They at the end, you'll kind of see if the couples are going to stay together, if they're going to switch with other couples, or they're just going to leave and be by themselves. It has some
Mm.
comedy in it as well, some drama. But it's really a nice movie. I really enjoyed it.
So Mississippi, I love Mississippi, birthplace of American music, and we all need to be exposed and go other places and see things. I think this is good for all humans. So
Mhm.
your father still lives in Mississippi. What are some of your fondest memories of Mississippi? And do you enjoy and treasure when you get to go back and visit?
So I guess my fondest memory, I was an active child, like in high school. I did everything. I was a Gator girl. I was a cheerleader for the football team, the
Wait a minute,
basketball
you was a
team.
what now? A Gator girl.
Yeah, one of them little dancing girls.
So
Um,
your high school was the Gators?
Vicksburg High School, the
Oh, okay.
Gators.
They get it. Okay.
So we went, I ran track, I played basketball. I was a cheerleader, a Gator girl. Everything that was going on in Vicksburg, I was a part of. So
Mm,
I enjoyed my childhood. But those are
mm.
my fondest memories, hanging out with my friends in high school.
And do you still keep in touch with many of them, or are they kind of scattered all everywhere now?
Actually, I keep in the ones that I hung out with in high school, we still keep in touch. One of them lives here. They're all over the place. No, two of them live here, actually. So we travel, get together. We just came back from North Carolina, maybe like a couple of months ago, hanging out. So we definitely still keep in touch.
Oh, wow, wow. So tell me what is next for you. I know you talked about, well, we framed it a different way, not putting all your eggs in one basket, but diversifying your income streams. What's next for you? You're working in the movie space. You've been doing that how many years?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. So you kind of getting that under control and under your
Yes.
belt. So what's next for you? You're at 315 employees. Do you think that that's a level where you're like, okay, I'm gonna hold it here? You're in Texas. Everything is big in Texas,
It
you
is.
know? Do you think you want to grow that more, or do you think that you're now going in other directions to further diversify?
I actually would like to grow it a little more, but I also have a couple of plans in my head that I'm going to try and do. Well, I've done dabble into them before, so now I'm thinking about bringing them back. One thing is I'm a real estate investor, so I flip houses. I flip houses here in Dallas and I flip houses in Atlanta. So not a lot, but I want to do more of that, or possibly flip the house, but maybe rent it out. Go to thinking about maybe going back to Jackson and Vicksburg and going to some of the lower income areas and see if I can fix up some of the homes there. That's one thought that I'm thinking about doing. The second thought is I want to get back into, I hold comedy shows. I did a comedy show in Vicksburg. The very first one was successful. The second one, the ticket sales didn't go as well as I would like. So I lost money on the second one because you have to pay the artist up
Oh,
front.
absolutely.
And then either the
Absolutely.
tickets sell or they don't, they didn't go so well. So I want to try to revisit that, but do it here in Dallas. I'm talking to two other people now to see who, if they want to partner with me to start doing some comedy shows here in Dallas.
And so do you think at this point, um, so your DSP business is running pretty much automated.
Pretty much, yes.
You don't have to be there. And the movie thing, you're executive producer, so you're not shooting, you're not editing, you're not bogged down with that. And
Correct.
so do you now scale the things that you're doing now, you handle pretty much on your own, or are you thinking about turning that into kind of a company that, like for instance, the flipping of the houses, especially if you're not there on site, can be a dicey proposition with contractors because they're like hairdressers in some instances, trifling, depends on, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So, how do you mitigate the kind of anomalies that come with those things when you're not there on the scene? And certainly the people you pick is important, but
Absolutely.
being present a lot of time, how do you duplicate that when you're not in Atlanta, or do you go to Atlanta when you're flipping a house, or what do you do about those kind of things?
So it's definitely key to who your partners are. So remember, initially I mentioned that I have friends that were supposed to start the Amazon business with, and
Mhm.
they didn't. So it's five of us. Two live here in Dallas, and the other three live in Atlanta. So the three that live in Atlanta, they're the ones who kind of hire the general contractor, and they oversee everything and report back.
Ah,
And we have a meeting once a week to say, okay, this is what has happened, but I have boots on the ground there. And then
mm.
here in Dallas, I have someone that's been doing, he's my mentor. So he's been doing this for a while. So I trust him and he helps me out when I want to flip a house here. And I use him as my general contractor.
Wow. So you take very measured risks. You don't appear to get into things unless you have an expert whom you trust to guide you, and it really
Exactly.
reduces the possibility of failing or dumping too much money into a pit. I think it's very, very smart. And these are things that I want people, particularly people from small places, to know. I was talking with Williams of the Temptations, and he's from a small town in Texas. I think Texarkana, Texas, like
Mhm.
35,000 people. Moved to Detroit, took a chance, and now he's 80 something years old, and he's lived an entire life of creating one of the biggest super groups ever. So
Yeah.
small things do turn into big things, you know?
Mhm.
And so you just have to have faith, and faith is evidenced through patience. It doesn't come on your time. You take your time, and it's on the Lord's time. And when it starts to unfold, then it unfolds. So I just wanted to take a moment to officially meet you, and I thought that this is worthy of recording. I think that this is an amazing story, um, particularly from people like places, from people, for people in places like Mississippi, small places where
Mhm.
they may be surrounded by people who really don't give them the confidence to believe that they can live their dreams. If you were given a gift, then you're meant to use that gift. And even though you are seemingly far away from mathematics, you're actually not.
Mhm.
Logistics is mathematics, and everything is mathematics. Executive producing a movie is mathematics because if you don't balance budget your money right, you're gonna not be able to produce that movie. So
Exactly.
really, everything you do is really technically what you were trained to do. You can just apply it in different mediums. So
Mhm.
when doors close, people oftentimes fall to pieces. I got fired from my job or I got a divorce. Well, maybe that's the mysterious way that the creator moves, and your same gift can be used in any different industry. So thank you for your time. I wanted to officially record this, and I will leave the floor open for you for any last closing words.
Yes, definitely. Once again, anyone who speaks with me, find out that I'm very helpful. If anyone is interested in learning about the program, the Amazon program, learning about the movie industry, they can just reach out to you and then you can pass their information on to me. I'm always willing to help. I think everyone should take a chance on how to improve their lives. I'm not a big fan of working for a company for years. I think what happened with me is me having the degree and still getting passed over. I just felt it wasn't fair. So I became a consultant, an independent consultant, where I didn't have to work for someone I control my own destiny. So I encourage everyone, you look up and you work for a company 20 years and you're not making anything and they don't value you. Try to value yourself. Find that niche. Find something. I believe everyone can do something. Have that creative mindset, that entrepreneurial mindset. Figure out what it is that you can do and go for it. Reach out. There's so much information on social media where you can try to figure out how to do something. Always reach out, encourage other people. Don't try to down people or anything. Even though I've made it to the status of being a millionaire, if you saw me, you would never know that. I don't dress up. I'm not fancy. None of
Mhm.
that. I'm still the same little small country girl that you met 20 years ago that didn't have anything. Money didn't change me. And once you get to that level, I hope it doesn't change you as well. Be mindful, be respectful of everyone else. Help people out when you can.
Because
So
it comes back to you, and you're not sitting on the beach, not doing anything. Just, you're still working hard, you're still growing, you're still optimistic. The money just gave you the freedom that you need to be able to
exactly,
think without that kind of pressure on you? And I think
exactly.
that that's important because I am intent on framing the conversation about redefining success because I'm concerned that we've got, particularly younger people,
Yes.
all the fake it till you make it. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. And if somebody's not, here's this phrase that it really bothers me, and I try to forget it. It's something to the extent of if something's not serving you or something. Well, what about you serving somebody else? Is everybody supposed to be serving you? No, we're supposed to be servants to each other. And so I have seen this incestuous relationship philosophies and getting the bags and all this is nonsense. So I thank you for being here to help redefine what that is. You don't have on Louis Vuitton jacket right now. It's not necessary. You can wear a regular jacket, and yes, it can come from Walmart. You know? Thank you, ma'am. Well, maybe what we'll do in the near future is invite you to Mississippi. And maybe we'll do like a small fireside chat and bring people who are interested in a business opportunity and entertainment and your life journey. And maybe we'll just talk to them.
That works for me. I don't mind doing
Yes,
that.
ma'am. Thank you. You have a good week and thank you for your time. I will be talking to you soon and I'll share this with you as well.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. You do the same. Thanks.